Welcome to Life Hacks for People in a Hurry. Let me ask you something. What does it really take to be a millionaire? And I'm not talking about the luxury cars, private jets, or the curated Instagram feeds. I'm talking about the real millionaires, the ones who have financial freedom and, more importantly, the mental clarity and time to enjoy it. What's their secret? Today, we're diving into The Millionaire Mind by Thomas Stanley, a book that flips every stereotype about wealth on its head. Stanley wasn't interested in just the dollar signs. He wanted to know how the wealthy think. What drives their decisions? How do they approach their careers, relationships, and lives to not only accumulate wealth but sustain it? And here's the twist. This book isn't about lottery winners or tech moguls. It's about everyday millionaires, the ones flying under the radar. They're the folks you'd never suspect, the neighbor who drives an old car but quietly has financial security most people can only dream of. No flashy showmanship, just consistent, thoughtful choices. Stanley did the research. He surveyed hundreds of these financially independent individuals and uncovered patterns, habits, beliefs, values that all seem to lead to a life of abundance. And it's not what you'd expect. These aren't people chasing quick wins. They're people with intentionality, discipline, and a focus on the long game. So today, we're unpacking those patterns. We'll uncover the choices, habits, and philosophies that can help anyone, yes, anyone, build a foundation for financial freedom. This isn't just about making money. It's about transforming the way you see success. Let's dig in. Let's talk about something that might completely shift the way you think about success. Did you know most millionaires weren't straight-A students? That's right, many of them weren't at the top of their class or acing every test. In fact, a surprising number were B students, even C students. So how did they do it? How did they become the ones running the show while their straight-A classmates were often left working for them? Stanley digs into this very question, and trust me, the answers are not what you'd expect. It turns out, building wealth and freedom has little to do with perfect grades or elite schools. It's about something far more important, a mindset built on resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to turn criticism into fuel for growth. Take John, for example. John grew up in a middle-class home where grades were important, but they didn't define him. One day, he brought home a report card with mostly B's and AC. His teacher told him, "You'll probably end up working for your straight-A classmate Brian." But John's dad had a different perspective. He said, "Don't listen to that. You're not just a B student, you're a well-rounded B student. You're on the basketball team, you're a leader, and you know how to connect with people. That's who I'd hire." And John did more than prove his teacher wrong. By the year 2000, John's net worth reached $4.3 million. Debt-free, financially independent, and thriving, all because he leaned into his strengths instead of letting someone else's expectations hold him back. Here's another example, Patrick. As a kid, Patrick wasn't just sitting in the back of the classroom, he was literally in the bad student rows, the ones for troublemakers and kids with messy handwriting. But did that stop him? Not a chance. Patrick went on to build 3 companies, earn a PhD, and accumulate over $10 million in assets. And his handwriting? Still terrible. His success? Absolutely unstoppable. So, what's the secret here? Stanley calls it mental armor. These are people who refuse to let labels like mediocre or underachiever define them. Instead, they develop resilience, confidence in their unique abilities, and the courage to challenge the status quo. They don't just survive failure, they use it as a springboard for success. And here's the key, that mental armor often starts at home. Parents who say, "Let's figure this out together," instead of, "Why can't you be more like Brian?" create an environment where kids learn to see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. Those kids grow up to become adults who can handle rejection, setbacks, and failure and still keep moving forward. Now, let me ask you, could you build that kind of resilience in yourself? Could you develop mental armor strong enough to turn criticism into motivation and failure into freedom? Stick around, because we're just getting started. Let's dive deeper. This is where John's story turns from ordinary to extraordinary. Picture this. He's an assistant manager at a car company, handling routine tasks like selling old trucks to scrapyards. One day, he sells a beat-up truck for $500. A couple of weeks later, his boss needs a used engine. So John goes back to that same scrapyard, only to discover that the engine they need? It's from the exact truck he sold. And here's the kicker. The scrapyard charges them $500 for the engine alone and even demands a trade-in. That was the moment. John realized he wasn't just selling trucks, he was leaving money on the table. The scrapyard was making a killing by stripping these trucks for parts, reselling each piece at a premium. John thought, why am I letting someone else profit off this? Why can't I do it myself? That night, he made a decision. He resigned, bought his first junk truck for $500, and started dismantling it, piece by piece, in his garage. The result? He sold the parts for 7 times what he paid. This wasn't just a side hustle, it was a business model. That one truck became the foundation of his million-dollar empire. Now, John's story isn't a fluke. It's part of a bigger pattern uncovered by Stanley. Financially independent people like John aren't just lucky, they're strategic. They build their wealth by spotting opportunities that others overlook, solving niche problems, and taking calculated risks. Here's what sets them apart. First, they experiment before they commit. These people don't blindly leap into business, they test the waters. John worked for a car company before launching his own. He learned the ins and outs of the industry, built his network, and gained valuable experience. That foundation gave him the confidence to strike out on his own. Second, they work in fields they love. Stanley found that 86% of financially independent people say passion is key to their success. For them, work isn't just about money, it's about purpose. They wake up excited to tackle challenges, which fuels their drive long after they've achieved financial freedom. Third, they act fast. When John saw the opportunity in truck parts, he didn't sit around debating. He made the decision that night and started his business within 2 weeks. That decisiveness is a hallmark of self-made millionaires. They don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it. Finally, they focus on niche markets. The opportunities they pursue aren't flashy or obvious. They're often in unglamorous, overlooked industries. Used truck parts aren't exactly exciting, but they're lucrative. And that's the point. Financially independent people don't chase prestige. They chase potential. So why don't more people see these opportunities? Stanley's research reveals a simple answer. Most people are busy chasing conventional success. They're drawn to prestigious careers like medicine, law, or finance because they're safe and socially respected. Meanwhile, niche markets, like dismantling trucks, don't have the same appeal. But those overlooked markets? That's where the real money is. John didn't care about glamour. He saw potential in what others ignored. And that $500 truck? It wasn't just a piece of junk, it was a gold mine. So the next time you see an opportunity that looks unremarkable, ask yourself, could this be my $500 truck? Because for John, that one truck changed his life. Let's dive into the daily lives of John and Lily, because their story shatters every stereotype about what it means to live like a millionaire. Forget the yachts, private jets, and extravagant parties. John and Lily's life is anything but flashy. And that's entirely by design. Their home? It's a practical 3-story house, not a sprawling estate. Their cars? Reliable and efficient, not luxury brands designed to turn heads. Even the interior of their home reflects thoughtfulness rather than indulgence. Sure, there are a few antiques, but those pieces weren't chosen to impress. They were chosen because they hold value and character. Take Lily's walk-in closet. It's impeccably organized, filled with high-end designer clothing. But here's the twist. Most of it comes from a thrift store. That's right, Lily shops secondhand, snagging brands like Gucci and Dior at a fraction of their original cost. And if something needs tailoring, no problem. The result? A wardrobe that looks stunning without breaking the bank. Then there's John. His indulgence? 2 pairs of calfskin dress shoes. They weren't cheap, but he's had them for over a decade. One pair has been resold twice, and they still look as good as new. For John, it's about buying quality once and making it last, a philosophy that runs through every part of their lives. Even grocery shopping gets the millionaire efficiency treatment. Their refrigerator sports a map of their local supermarket with every aisle meticulously marked. Why? To streamline their trips. Lily and John plan every shopping trip down to the last detail, lists, coupons, the works. Even their 8-year-old daughter joins in, proudly serving as the family's coupon expert. This kind of methodical planning isn't unique to John and Lily. Stanley's research shows it's a hallmark of financially independent individuals. These people aren't just saving money, they're building habits of discipline and focus. They approach their finances and their lives with intention. Now, some might call this level of frugality excessive for millionaires. But here's the thing, their approach is deliberate. They splurge on things that matter, quality items, investments that retain or grow in value. For example, Lily's antiques often appreciate over time, making them a far better choice than trendy, fleeting purchases. They're also incredibly smart about their time. They know when to do things themselves, like resoling a shoe, and when to outsource tasks that don't align with their priorities. This is what Stanley calls life cycle costs. It's not just about saving a few dollars, it's about understanding the bigger picture. Could their time be better spent on something more valuable, like growing their business or enjoying life with their family? Take, for instance, the cartoonist who hired painters instead of repainting his walls. It wasn't about avoiding effort, it was about protecting his time and income. If he got injured falling off a ladder, his ability to work and earn could be jeopardized. For him, outsourcing wasn't an expense, it was an investment. And what about leisure? John and Lily's idea of fun isn't jet-setting across the globe or lounging on luxury cruises. They find joy in simple, meaningful activities, visiting museums, volunteering, gardening, or cheering on their kids at soccer games. These aren't activities designed to impress, they're things that genuinely bring them happiness. As we bring today's episode to a close, let's reflect on the timeless wisdom from Stanley, insights that go far beyond building wealth. This isn't just about making money, it's about designing a life where financial freedom fuels your purpose, your passions, and your peace of mind. First, let's talk about the fundamentals: hard work, integrity, and focus. These aren't cliches, they're the foundation of a life where you lead, not follow. While academic success is often praised as the ultimate pathway to prosperity, Stanley flips the script. It's not about your report card, it's about your decisions, your discipline, and your determination. Courage is another pillar. Real growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It's the calculated risks, the leaps of faith, and the lessons from failure that pave the way for true success. Pair that with pursuing work you genuinely love, and you're not just earning, you're thriving. And let's not overlook the power of partnership. Choosing a life partner who shares your values, someone practical, empathetic, and supportive, is a multiplier for success. It's not about finding perfection, it's about creating alignment, a partnership that amplifies your strengths and steadies you in challenges. In their daily lives, the financially independent excel at one thing: resourcefulness. From knowing when to repair instead of replace to approaching every major purchase with patience and strategy, they see their household as a well-run enterprise. Their choices aren't about deprivation, they're about value. But perhaps the most profound takeaway is this: wealth is a means, not the end. It's a tool that lets you invest in what matters most: family, relationships, and moments of pure joy. A rich life isn't defined by what you spend, but by the depth of what you experience. Which principle from today's episode will you try this week? Drop your pick in the comments and let's spark a conversation about building a life that truly matters. If this inspired you, show some love with a like and share it with someone who's ready to rewrite their story. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep building the life you deserve.